Hello, and thank you for tuning into my poster here. My name is Austin Green. I am a PhD candidate at the University of Utah, studying under Dr. Chan Shikergiolu. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the community science camera trapping project I run called Wasatch Wildlife Watch, where we leverage the power of remote sensing trail cameras and community science to answer really large scale questions about how human influence is altering both wildlife distribution and behavior in a really highly trafficked area of Utah. And so to kind of get right into it, the Wasatch Mountain Range is nestled against one of the largest metropolitan areas in the Intermountain West, the Salt Lake Valley, and it represents a really striking example of what we call a wildland urban interface, or an area where undeveloped and developed land come in direct contact. And so, because of the unique situation that the Wasatch Mountain Range is in, being nestled next to the Salt Lake Valley, the Uinta Wasatch Cache National Forest is actually one of the most highly recreated national forests in the entire country. And so, because of this unique situation, it's really important, and it's also a great opportunity for wildlife conservationists and researchers to understand how increasing human traffic and increasing human influence alters wildlife and an entire community scale. And so that was kind of the goal behind Wasatch Wildlife Watch, was to answer these really large scale questions using remote sensing technology like camera traps. Except in order to actually get the amount of data that we needed, we had to extend it to the entire community. More so, and on top of that, we also wanted to make sure that we were fostering community support for any type of actions in conservation that actually came through this project. And so, because of those two things, it suited itself perfectly to a community science project. And so, once we opened it up, we started training volunteers to actually set up and maintain their own camera traps, and that's exactly what they do. They're trained on how to set up, they're trained on how to maintain those cameras, they gather all the data, and then they even help us sort through the data once it's all gathered. And to date, the project has gathered data from over 1,000 individual camera sites across over 200 or 20,000 survey days, with over 1.5 million detections of nearly 50 species in only 3 years. So it's an incredible amount of effort, and we've been able to use these data to investigate the comparative effects of housing development and interstate highway on mammalian community composition. And that's what you see in this first figure right here, where this is both species specific and community responses to how human population and housing density. Overall, we see a negative response across all species. But we've then also have been able to use that to compare how temporal activity or behavior changes as we go from the Wasatch, which is a really undeveloped portion of our study area, to the Salt Lake City area, which is a much more developed portion of our study area. And we've been able to document drastic changes in behavior, both at the community and the species level. So moving forward, we're looking at doing more of this type of work. We're looking at also expanding into more nationwide and continental wide collaborations using this data set. So we're really excited to move forward, and I can't wait to hear about all the commentary and discussions that all of you will have. So thank you so much for joining in.